Hey grown-ups. I wanted to actually record my video outside today, but God had other plans. This place is rained out. It's great to see you guys again. I'm glad you're back, and I just wanted to share a few things with you guys because I actually had a whole other video prepared to put up for today, and I just decided to go on a complete tangent and just change everything, so just bear with me. I'll most likely release the video that I intended to release today during the midweek, just to give you a midweek update, and that might be the format from now on. I might still do Sundays and just do something midweek. So I've been feeling a little overwhelmed recently. I have had a lot on my plate. I had some songs to learn for a recording for later on this week. I had some graphic design work to do. I had some work to do for the band that I manage. Oh boy, there goes the rain again. I really hope you guys can hear me because the rain is pouring out there. Anyhow, I had marathon training and other physical training to do because, of course, I still have this broken toe issue going on, and it's been kind of rough. But I have a determination that I just have my goals. I have to do what I have to do. So despite needing to rest my toe, it's not gonna happen. So the toe has not had a chance to really come back as it should. There's far less pain for sure. It's just a little niggle every now and then. It keeps reminding me, that hey, I'm here, but I'm not taking it on. I'm doing what I have to do. Even in my lower body workout that I did yesterday, I still can't do lunges. I have to substitute with something else because when I put my left foot, which is the foot with the broken toe, when I put that foot behind me and I go into the lunge position, I shouldn't say I can't bear down my body weight on it, but it's sort of reminding me that, look, I'm not fully healed. So I kind of ease off of it because next thing I'm going to hear crick, and that would not be cute at all. I have to do what I'm doing, and it's just my nature. I just can't keep still, so I have to keep going and doing all the things as normal. That's just how it is. I also have to keep up with laundry, housework, because I haven't had a helper in God knows when years. Yeah, I've had a whole lot on my plate, and I'm not complaining. I have a lot to give thanks for. I'm extremely grateful for life and everything that I've been blessed with. It's just that sometimes, I don't know if you guys can actually see, but I have the window open and the rain is like splashing in on me. Anyhow, sometimes you can just feel like you're just doing a whole lot, and feeling overwhelmed, like there just aren't enough hours in the day to get everything done that you want to accomplish. I'm sure we all have those times, but that's the nature of life. The world doesn't stop just because you have stuff to do. You have to find a way to function, and that's why it's so important to make sure that your body is just in tip-top shape, because it's one body we have. We don't have another, and we have to make sure that we are on top of things where our health and vitality is concerned. But on to something a bit lighter. So I started an outdoor vegetable garden today. Well, part of it is indoors because some of the seeds, they say, have to be started indoors, but some of the others are outside. And I basically started this garden because, the cost of food in Jamaica is absolutely ridiculous. Sometimes when I think of something simple like sweet peppers or bell peppers, as they call it elsewhere, when bell peppers are sometimes scarce, it's ridiculous what you can pay for just a single one. I'm not putting up with that anymore when I have a whole heap of land space and I can do what I need to do. I have seeds. I'm gonna do what needs to be done. So I started the garden, and I'm just really, really happy with how it's progressing. So from as far back as I can remember, I have always been health conscious. As a child, I probably didn't know what health conscious meant. But when I was younger, when other kids used to love sweet drinks and juices and all of that, just give me water. Standard drink to accompany my dinner or lunch or whatever meal, water. And I've just always been like that. I was never a juice drinker or drink or Kool-Aid or any. I mean, occasionally, yes, I might indulge. Or if my parents are going out to an event or something, I might sip. But water was always my thing. In high school, I used to party sometimes, but it was never about smoking or drinking or anything like that for me. And that's not to condemn anybody who does. I mean, everybody has their thing. My thing is food. That's my thing. But everybody has their thing, so I'm not judging anybody. Later on in life, when peers are talking about contraception and all those things. Okay. That was a big one. Anyhow, I remember even in college when I think it was a coil. I don't quite remember when that came out, and I remember they were encouraging us to go and get this thing inserted in our arms, and I just stayed far because I have always been very guarded about what goes in my body, except for food. Except for food, but anything else, I am just very, 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 very cautious. So in addition to that, as conventional as my parents may have seemed to those on the outside, my parents were radicals. Trust me, they used to test and try every single thing. And so growing up, I was exposed to a number of alternative medicine methods and raw food and all kinds of different things that, you know, my parents would get involved in. My parents were on Ayurveda eating programs. They were both Reiki practitioners, level 2, although they never practiced. We learned transcendental meditation. My mom had started learning reflexology. As a matter of fact, we used to have a licensed reflexologist who would come to the house every Saturday to give us treatments. Mom practiced yoga. Radical does not begin to describe my parents. So there you have it. For those of you who thought my parents were normal people, no. They were the radicals. Look here, although I lock the window, them rain still a box me in my face. I don't know if you guys can see it, but trust me, I don't even know if you can even hear me. I'm doing my best to project my voice so that you can hear me, but we'll see what happens at the end of the day when I'm editing this video. So with every class they took and every alternative method they tried and tested and whatnot, as an only child, I was dragged off to all of these excursions to experience it, and I'm so grateful to have been exposed to all of these various techniques and methods and stuff that my parents indulged in. A lot of stuff that is now considered to be new age fad stuff. I knew about those things long ago, from I was a child, teen, into my 20s. I had already been exposed, and I'm just really, really grateful to have knowledge on so many different things that can help, separate and apart from what we call conventional medicine. The thing is though, that not just because you know what to do means that you're gonna do it. And I think a lot of times that's probably where my parents faltered, and that's why they were constantly yo-yoing and trying this, trying that, and just never sticking to one thing. But at the same time, it's important to recognize that as you change as a person, even your physiology, as you get older, it's important for you to find what really works for you, because it's not always the same things that are going to work throughout your entire life. I have heard stories of people, we have had friends in the music industry, for instance, who have been strict vegetarians and have had issues, and when they go to their doctor and they check out the levels for different things, they find out that they're deficient and have to end up start eating meat all over again. So sometimes we have to sort of gauge where we are and, you know, how things feel for us. Not everything is gonna work for everybody. People's cultures are different, and the foods that you have around you are different, and you just have to find what works for you. But again, it's important to know your body. Because health is wealth. Just get something in. Just start walking. Just do something. And if the kids are overwhelming, take them with you. Children would love to be outside. I would love to see kids getting back to the level of fitness and health that we had when we were kids. I mean, yes, we ate our Kisco and sweet this and that and Pop-Tarts and sweet cereal and whatever. But we got outside. I used to climb trees. I used to ride bicycle. I used to run up and down on the street. All kind of things, you know. This was physical activity for us. We were always physically active. But now we find that kids are really just into the iPad and the whatever. At the time when my son was a youngster in prep school, it was the Game Boy. So it started from there, and now it has evolved to where kids are just glued to their phones or their iPads or the computer, and we really seriously have to look into this. It's serious. I often reflect on my time at Mona Prep, and as far as I can recall, there were probably 3 people I can call off the top of my head who at the time we even considered to be overweight, and trust me, they would be nothing compared to some of the kids I see walking up and down now. There was one guy, I remember his name was Kevin Clark, and we used to call him Eddie. And when I compare how many kids were overweight in my day at Mona Prep and compare it to my son, when I used to go and drop off and pick up my son at Mona Prep, when I think about how many overweight kids I used to see, even just in his class, it's crazy. When you look at what kids are getting fed in these school cafeterias, it is absolutely horrendous. I don't know how we expect them to learn. You know, just so much sweets, the bag juice, the sugar bun. I mean, yes, we had those things back in my day, way back in the day, right? But we got out. These kids know, unless they're involved in some kind of extracurricular activity, nothing. Unless they're on the track team or they play volleyball or netball or basketball or tennis, whatever extracurricular activity they may be in. If they are strictly an academic, I'm sorry for them, because they have no physical outlet to be active. So from an early age, it's really important for us to get our kids active. Get them from in front of the TV, move them from in front of the computer, turn it off, have a cut-off time, or have a time, like an hour or so, when they come home from school after they get homework done, where they actually go outside, let them go outside and run up and down and get their feet dirty in the dirt and in the mud, and then they can come back in and bathe. It's not a problem, you know, just get them out and active, because this is how they will find balance in terms of their health and wellness. This is the start. We are the start. We are the ones who have to really steer them in the right direction. And it's important too for us to be the examples, because it's one thing to, you know, just talk a good game, but mom, dad, what are you doing? And I'm talking, not condemning, I'm talking to myself as well, because I started out on a great track with my son. You know, we raised him as a vegetarian, and eventually when he started going to prep school, he just came home one day and said, "Mommy, I don't want to be a vegetarian anymore." I said, "Oh, really? Okay. What do you want to be?" He said, "I want to be a chicken-tarian." I was like, okay then. And then it was at that point that we realized that kids share their lunch at school. So he was eating chicken before we even knew it. As I say, I'm basically speaking to myself as well, because when he was in prep school, I wouldn't say that I was a paragon of health and wellness. I was still searching, still finding my way, but I did do my best to be active somewhat. And then years later, my best friend, she introduced us to her running club, Pacers. Pacers is a pretty popular running club in Jamaica. And my best friend was one of the founding members of the running club. And she invited us, and it's when me and Hobby went for the first time. We went up to Yui, and they had us running Ring Road. We were doing a larger loop round by Students Union and going back around to regular Ring Road. And it's when we did, I think we probably did like 1.5 loops of it, and that's when we found out that we were just completely out of shape. I mean, hubby used to be on the track team at JC. I was on the track team at Andrews for a while, and I had a history of running from prep school, and we couldn't manage. We could not manage. It really gave us a serious reality check, and I realized that, hey, you know, eating the mac and cheese and so it might be easy to just whip up, just throw in some milk and, you know, mix up the cheese thing and it's ready. But no, we have to go back to basics and get proper nutrition, proper nutrients into our bodies. We need to eat those vegetables. Jamaica is filled with fruits. We can do so much with what we have and be self-sufficient. So really and truly, the reason that I mentioned all of those alternative methods, including the meditation and whatnot, is because there are several components that you put together to find your health balance. Hydration is important. Keeping your mind stress-free is extremely important. Being active is very important. Getting even just a walk. And of course, what you nourish your body with is probably number 1. And I would say number 2 would most definitely be sleep. We underestimate sleep. Sleep is when the body rebuilds and rejuvenates. And if you're not getting enough hours of sleep, you're gonna have a problem. So we have to look at all these various components and find a balance, find a medium, find a way to get all of these things into our regular practice. Very, very important. I can't stress it enough. So as I say, what works for me may not work for you. What works for somebody else may not work for any of us. But it's our responsibility to find what works for us and be consistent with it, because consistency is what yields results. And this is part of the reason too why I'm really doing this marathon, because I can sometimes be indisciplined in my approach to many things. And I think that if I can seriously align my mind to the task of getting my marathon training done, because you see, the whole thing is not about the marathon itself, you know. It's a background work that goes into doing the marathon. That is what is key. And if you can stay consistent, it's my journey. If I can stay consistent with that, then I can stick to anything. So discipline and consistency is very important. No matter how talented you are, you will not really reach to the heights that you may aspire to be at if you don't put in consistent work and continue to grow. You have to put in a disciplined, consistent work. And this is what my journey on this marathon is really teaching me. I have to really put it out there though that this is not my first marathon. I did a marathon back in 2011 in honor of my mom, who passed earlier that year. She passed in March of that year, and I did the marathon in December and dedicated that run to her. This second marathon journey is challenging in that I am, 2011, I'm 11 years older. So when I did that marathon, I was 39, and now I'm gonna be 50. So, you know, doing a marathon at 39 in your late 30s and doing a marathon at 50 is 2 completely different things. I can tell you, my body is in a totally different state than it was in my late 30s. I have really abused this vessel, and I am not living in regret, but I am mindful, and I know, as I said earlier, that I only have one body, and I have to take care of it, especially if I want to be around to see my son continue to grow and for him to start his own family and all of that eventually. I want to be around, and I want to be in the best health and shape I can possibly be. That's my responsibility. I am my responsibility, and I have to look after myself in order to ensure that I will be around for a while. So in a roundabout way, I guess I'm just having a heart-to-heart talk with everybody, especially my peers, people who are around my age, that or even older. It is never too late to take your health into account. Don't wait until you go to the doctor and then put you on a million medications and all of that. Do what you can to ensure that you are in control of what you put in your mouth, that you are doing what you need to do in terms of exercise, that you're not overworking yourself and stressing yourself out, and that your mental health is intact. Also ensure that you are drinking a lot of fluids, a lot of water, and getting adequate sleep. Rest is important. So grown-ups, let's seriously grow up and glow up in this season of our lives. We only have one body. Let's take care of it. I'll see you guys midweek, and I'll give you an update on my marathon training. So just keep me in your thoughts, prayers, everything, and just hope that my toe will repair so that I can have full use of it for the marathon. But guys, I want to thank you for your encouragement. A lot of you have been really troopers in the comments, and especially privately. A lot of people have reached out and said that they love what I'm doing and enjoy the channel, and I'm truly grateful, really grateful. So don't hesitate to click that like button, subscribe, share this video, share my channel with others. Make a comment below. Let me know what you're thinking about the content that I'm putting out, and if you have any particular topics or anything that you'd like for me to cover, just let me know. Just say it in the comments. I just want this journey to be fulfilling for all of us, and I'll see you midweek with my other video.